Hello everybody, my name is Joe Shelton and I'm a singer, songwriter, music producer, and recording artist from Indianapolis, Indiana. Over the last year, I've stepped out and performed music on over 200 stages. Along the way though, I met a lot of great people that I didn't expect to. They were inspiring artists and songwriters and musicians, and I want to share all of that inspiration with you. So that's what this show is about. Moonshine equals love, shine in love on the music. Moonshine and music starts now. Hello everybody, welcome to episode 1 of season 2 of Moonshine and Music. Today's guest is David Garza, and I know you're going to love him. Before that though, I want to talk a little bit about our shoot location. We are shooting now all the episodes at Books and Brews, which is a fabulous bookstore and brewery combo. I play a lot of shows at all the different Books and Brews location, but we are shooting the next episodes on September 16th at the main Books and Brews location. It's called the Mothership location. It's at I-69 and 96th Street in Indianapolis. So if you're interested in doing that, go to moonshineandmusic.com and you can find the exact address, or, if you already know where it is, stop by and watch the show. We'll be shooting at noon on September 16th. All right, let's get to today's interview with David Garza. Welcome to Moonshine and Music, David Garza.
Hey, Joe. Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time coming, bro. We've been working on it.
We've been trying to get this set up for a while, yeah.
I really dig the hat today, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you wear it in my honor, or was it like part of the...
Yeah. I think I knew Joe Shelton would
appreciate a hat.
So, yeah.
Well, the key is to have a good hat. Like, Carrie Ray, she set the standard for hats, and it still is going to probably stay
I saw that. She has that nice fedora.
She has the Stetson hats.
The Stetsons, the open road hats.
So, I went out and looked at those because they're really cool, and I was like, oh my God, I can't buy a Stetson hat. I mean, I wish I could.
Yeah.
If you guys can give me 50 million more viewers, we might be able to get a sponsor that can just get Stetson to give us a hat.
Yeah, Stetson as a sponsor.
And if they did, then that would be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah. This is also, you get the honor of being the first one in Books and Brews.
The Books and Brews,
Books and Brews has got us all set up here to have the show.
It feels like a Friday night here. It really does.
Well, that's good. Yeah. That's the vibe we're going for. We're not going to tell everybody that it's not Friday night, but they're probably going to get the picture.
It's Sunday after Mass right now.
So David, let's talk a little bit about you. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you come from?
Grew up in San Antonio, Texas. Texas is my home state. Spent pretty much my first 22 years there. Then I came to the Midwest. It's kind of a long story, and
that's what we're looking for. Is the long story.
Grew up in San Antonio. Played music. Started playing when I was 9 or 10.
Yeah, the guitar?
The nylon string guitar, It's a classical guitar.
So the completely finger style?
Finger style, with the bear claws, and the nails. I'm actually fortunate enough to grow, classical guitar hands, claws, so...
I can't, man.
Yeah.
Mine rip all the time.
Yeah. So you do that acrylic or something?
I don't do anything. Yeah. They just hurt. I use picks. Because, But no, that's great that you can.
But so the story there is my sister took piano. I was not really athletic. Maybe baseball was my best sport, to this day. So, we were at a Chinese restaurant actually, and I saw this guy playing classical guitar, and it was more upend. It wasn't like a Chinese buffet or anything. It was
it wasn't
more upend than it was kind of a fine dining kind of Chinese.
It wasn't
thing.
Like Yippie's buffet or whatever.
No, there was no sneeze guard and heat lamps or anything. So I saw this guy playing classical, and I think he was playing Eric Clapton, arrangement, and I was I told my parents this is something I want to do. So So they got me in lessons.
That trumped baseball.
That trumped baseball, yeah. I could field okay, and I hit decent, but I wasn't.
And this was
really,
age 9.
This was about what you're in like 4th grade, 5th grade.
Right.
Yeah. So I kind of went down that path, and I've been playing.
Did you have lessons then, or they just got you a guitar? And
so we found a teacher. I think it was through my sister's piano teacher. She linked up with this guy from Minnesota, who's like a huge Beatles fan. But his name is Paul Harper. He taught me guitar for a good 5-6 years. Until I was about high school age. Took classical guitar lessons, so that's kind of the basis of it, and then in terms of the singing and the writing, that kind of came a little later, but had some garage bands in middle school garage bands.
Yeah. Now, if you're a fan of the show, you know that band names are a big thing for Moonshine and Music. So what was the first band name? Well,
we didn't have an actual band name. We were just called Untitled? Like the 8th grade band, we were the only 8th grade band, so it was a small school admittedly, but
I see.
So we did that, played with drummers and
So what was the first one that had a name other than the 8th grade band?
Probably so I grew up in college. I stayed in Texas for school there.
Where'd you go?
University Incarnate Word. It's a private school there in San Antonio.
Okay.
So, yeah, I stuck around home for my undergrad, and we were called Ellen and the Degenerates. We were kind of a
Ellen and the Degenerates.
Yeah, Ellen and the Degenerates. It's still active on some days every 3 years or something.
Oh,
we get together for a gig.
You're one of those bands?
Yeah,
that's cool.
We'll call into commission. The
Blind Venetians, which was like mine, that we never play together.
Yeah,
ever. We don't even see each other. So that's.
yeah. I haven't seen you put a band show out there. I think you have your guitar player.
I did one this summer.
Did you? Okay, I must have missed it. I'm sorry.
You missed it. Mosey on Main.
Mosey on Main. Okay.
In Lafayette.
Yeah.
You weren't there, but then there were several people there.
Yeah.
There's a video of one of the songs up if you're interested.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look back for that. Yeah.
So you can just see the full band experience.
Yeah, so I started playing, in some garage bands, and playing mostly like the soundtrack of the day, Blink-182, Nirvana, we were just playing covers at that point. We weren't writing our own stuff. But
I mean, most of the time when you start out, you're not playing. I mean, especially young, because your 8th grade band was not. You guys weren't writing epic.
No. So
American Pie style.
It was kind of weird. I kind of had a weird gap there where I had a middle school band, and then in high school I just got really into acoustic music. So I mostly just played kind of by myself. I had acoustic trio. We do some things here and there, and then I used to play with this lady at church. I was kind of like her side guitar guy. So I just started playing more acoustic music. Kind of got into like that thing.
So like gospel and stuff, or
it was a little more like Jack Johnson was kind of hitting early on at that time. So I was kind of listening to him, and I never really got into Dave Matthews so much. I don't want to offend the Dave Matthews people out there, but I guess it was kind of that.
You do not want to offend.
It was a whole thing, yeah. But my parents' music had always kind of been in the background. My dad's music and.
So what was he into? What was the background music?
It was like he liked a lot of like harmony stuff, like the classic rock stuff, like the Eagles and Simon and Garfunkel, and all that kind of like 70s gold stuff. So then I kind of got into Jackson Browne and all these great writers.
Jackson Browne's awesome.
So all these like kind of contemporary American writers, in the 70s, and then. And then I kind of got in, high school to college, I kind of got into like the Texas music scene, the Texas music songwriting tradition. So, guys like, Townes Van Zandt and Guy Clark and Steve Earle, I Love It, and Rodney Crowell, Lucinda Williams, there's a bunch of people. So I kind of got into that really, and that whole thing. And I started writing in college, I'd say. I didn't really write my stuff until 21, 22, started writing songs. I went out to the Kerrville Folk Festival, actually, and I'll tell you that story.
Hold on, before we get to that, when you first started writing the songs, did you decide you were going to write them in a certain style? Or did it just come to you like the way that you write? It was
kind of organic, I've never really, I guess I kind of had my influences, and, but the songs just kind of emerged, I think I wrote, the first song at 22 was at Kerrville, actually, which Kerrville, if anyone's ever heard of it or been, it's a giant folk festival in Central Texas, and it's been going on for over 30 years now. But it's on a ranch, and people camp, and they have song circles at night, and there's super pros there, there's, professional musicians and artists, and there's just people that just kind of come along and play. And we were like young kids. I went out with some friends in college, and we kind of, we had, our Ryan Adams cover, or our, Josh Ritter cover, and we had some harmony parts we worked out and stuff. So I was always interested in harmony and stuff, but, I maybe have one or two of my own songs in my back pocket, but I got to listen to all these other people at different levels, some just starting out, some, really pro, and I was like, I think I could do this. It was very encouraging of like the original music. I think it's part of that culture there. But yeah, Kerrville Folk Festival is definitely part of like that Texas music scene, and I think they do like a new folk winner every year. You do the competition, there are people like James McMurtry have won. And
were you in it?
I never did the contest. No, we just went out and hung out and camped and met some nice people. But so that kind of kicked off the whole like you could do this, dude, kind of thing. And then I started really writing from there on, and it was the songs were just kind of like what I saw. It was like very observational, like John Prine, kind of Tex-Mex John Prine, I'd see, I'd write songs about San Antonio and the Ice Cream Man, and I was kind of comedic, I like that.
So I grew up in Indiana, but you had the Ice Cream Man. Was he on a bicycle, like with a little cooler on the front?
Yeah, so there was
same kind of thing.
There was a push cart, right, which was one thing, and then the bicycle was another.
The bicycle thing was huge around here. Like he'd have like the white frozen cooler thing.
Yeah.
And is that the type of ice cream?
Yeah, with like a block of ice like at the start of the day, and then
right.
It's 100 degrees outside, and they have all the flavors listed on the side. But
they always have like the rocket, like the rainbow rocket.
Yeah, so that's like the Indiana version of it, but like the South Texas was like just fruit flavors, and they were called paletas. So it was like, and they had sometimes they'd have the flavors in English, but mostly in Spanish, and the coconut and piña, all these different colors, flavors. So it was like I wrote a song about that, and I don't know where that came from, but it was just kind of stuff I'd see, and I
always like the strawberry shortcake.
The strawberry shortcake, yeah.
That one? Yeah. I don't know why.
We could talk about food for the next half an hour.
I can always talk about food. I mean, I didn't get this way by not liking food.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. So when you grew up in Texas and you started what was the migration was after college? What did you graduate with a degree in?
Okay. So I was kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, in college. I was a pretty mediocre student in high school. I wasn't really focused, but this music was always kind of going on, and it was a big part of who I was. And I decided to stay in town and go to college, and I was like pre-med at one point. I was a bio major, and then I was like thinking about majoring in music, but I didn't like the constraint of that, I'm not like a theory nerd, so it just that
is that really a thing, the theory nerd?
Theory, well, there's people that just are like musical minds that can do the circle wheels and tell you everything, I didn't get real jazzed up about that.
Play the 1 3 4.
Yeah, I'd rather just like foolishly discover it and think I discovered it, and but somebody can tell me, oh no, that's just the dominant seventh or the flat sixth or whatever.
Right.
But so
I love it when they tell me that, and I'm just like, really? Awesome.
Yeah, I know, that's cool. I don't know what that means, but yeah. There's a scale. There's So I took a philosophy class, and I got really interested in just philosophy and the classics. I started reading a lot of the classics, and I found some good teachers there, and I just kind of like the life of the mind kind of thing, and reading a lot of books. And
so what's your now we've traveled off into another area I love. What's your favorite nonfiction book?
Oh gosh.
We're going to take you to like something that's harder than fiction.
Nonfiction, yeah. I was reading like a lot of books on, I found a lot of poetry then too, which was kind of, I guess, works into kind of the songwriting in college. Neruda, I kind of read a lot of Neruda, and Rumi, he was like a Sufi poet, mystic in the 13th century, kind of got real into his poetry. And I just all those anthologies, like Robert Bly did a lot of anthologies, and I got real giant, like the big
Norton anthology.
Norton anthologies.
That's been brought up twice by a Texas person in the show.
Really?
Joe Martin Rickey teaches from because he's a professor.
Yeah.
He teaches from the Norton Anthology.
Oh, that's right. I did catch that episode. Yeah, maybe you can like cross-link this episode.
Look at this, man.
Yeah.
Like this.
But you can tag it. You can tag it, right?
Yeah. Hashtag Norton Anthology.
Norton Anthology. Yeah. No, just
we
a
need
lot
to get
of
those people to sponsor us too.
Yeah.
Why not?
I got interested in a lot of like there's always the poetry, and I like the the topics on the existentialists I kind of got into too, and then I was always kind of interested in like political science and sociology as well, so I kind of got a minor in sociology too, and then I kind of got interested in like public issues and public policy, so that kind of led my graduate studies out of philosophy, because I got a degree in philosophy and I knew I didn't. It was like teaching, or what do you do? Go to law school or something? So I didn't want to go.
I mean, Socrates.
Yeah.
How did he get paid? Right.
Just by corrupting the youth of Athens. I guess.
Hey, he was a philosopher.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you end up migrating to the Midwest? What happened?
Yeah. So it's a love story. I guess there's
a love story.
Yeah,
See, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're all here for. Yeah. So I the Christina who I'm with, I don't want to name her. Maybe you can edit her out. I don't want to embarrass her. She'd be turning red here if I said her name. But anyways, she's from Chicago originally. We met in San Antonio, and I was looking to go to graduate school at that point. I'd been kind of playing around musically, and mostly just in a variety band, and it was fun, and I learned a lot. But I kind of knew I wanted to continue, my studies, and she had finished 1 year of like volunteering, so I was trying to, I wanted to kind of have another experience and leave Texas for a little bit, and so I went and studied up in Chicago, and we moved back up to Chicago, and I was at Loyola University up there. And then at that point, I was, studying public policy. I was in a master's program, so.
That's a great school.
Yeah, it was a good experience. It was a little unconventional. I was a grad student there. I was kind of working part-time, but it was good. It was a good little program. I mean, it was a small-sized program, and, it was very beneficial, so. I kind of got pulled into the Midwest, and then, I got a job doing, like more urban planning work here in Indiana. I got a job offer. So that's how I got to Indiana. I'd only just driven through like on the way to Nashville,
And now you love it here.
Now I'm a Hoosier through and through, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. You seem pretty Texan to me.
I'm pretty Texan, but yeah, you once hear Texan, always a Texan. But yeah, but the people here in Indiana have been really great and supportive.
Yeah.
Just me on a personal level, through work and through friendships and through the music scene. I've met a lot of great people, and yeah, it's been a good time spent here, and I look forward to making more music here.
When are we going to hear your first record happen? When are we going to get that solo record out?
Yeah, so that's in the works. Hopefully by the end of the year, I'm going to go into the studio here, and I got some tracks in Texas I need to get from a lady. I started a recording project in Texas, and the gentleman recording me unfortunately passed, so I have to work with his wife. So she has all the tracks and stuff. So I started a 4-track project there, but that was the Paletta Man and some of the earlier songs I was writing at the time. But I've been songwriting. I've been writing ever since, between all the moves and transitions, and so yeah. I mean, I've just gotten really into songwriting again. And
so you're gonna do like a full length or an EP, or what's your?
I'm thinking of full length. I got at least 22, 24 songs that are ready to cut. So I maybe
you
have
like a double length,
double album. Yeah, like
like some kind of epic.
Yeah. Some concept album or something. But
there you go.
Yeah, the songs have just been accumulating, so I need to get
concept Texas to Hoosier or something.
Yeah,
something like that would work.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to cutting a lot of those songs, and maybe I'll play some of those today.
All right, man. Well, I think it's time to play some. So are you fired up and ready to go?
Well, let's do it, yeah.
All right, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me, buddy.
And we'll be right back with David Garza and his musical talents. Next week on Moonshine and Music, Catherine Nagy will join us at Books and Brews for a nice little sit-down interview and some fantastic music that sounds like this.
I can't think of another plan. I'd rather love tonight. To lay here, I start wondering why.
This is a song about rock and roll. It's called "Oh Lord, It's Rock and Roll." It's kind of a narrative folk song of sorts, talking about the history of rock and roll. Pasty kids out of England found themselves some records of Howlin' Wolf. They got a little band, they got a little famous. They channeled the blues and called it rock and roll. I'm sure you've heard the story. I know it's tried but true. I'm sure you've heard the story. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. There was a girl out in Port Arthur. She wrung the soul out of every note. They found herself breathless on a hotel floor. Southern comfort, not enough love. I'm sure you've heard the story. I know it's sad but true. I'm sure you've heard the story. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. 1950s in Detroit City, cars were rolling off the factory line. Smokey was singing, Black Bottom was burning. The kids' ears were ringing to MC5. I'm sure you've heard the story. I know it's been told before. I'm sure you've heard the story. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. Memphis in the 50s, Frisco in the 60s, Seattle in the 70s, Seattle 95. Wherever you put your hand on that music map, you'll find a kid with a guitar and a worried mind. I'm sure you've heard the story. I know it's tried but true. I'm sure you've heard the story. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. If you see that white van descend down the highway, hauling a trailer full of loaded gear, carrying a band of rock and roll misfits, playing out of love and burning through the years. I'm sure you've seen this story. Maybe it's been through your town. And if you've lived this story, you know it's rock and roll. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. Oh Lord, it's rock and roll. Thank you. I'm gonna do this. This is a little song about gas stations. It's called Corner Store here. I've been kicking this one around for a few years. I work down at the corner store, pulling late night shifts till 3:30, selling packs of those Kansas sticks to those country hicks like me. Everyone knows my name, they can read it on my sleeve. And keeping your coffee warm at the corner store. Boy walks up with a 12-pack of beer, grinning from ear to ear with his fake ID. His buddy says, bro, keep it cool, just act like a fool born in 93. Everyone knows my name, they can read it on my sleeve. And keeping the teens pissed off quarter stick of gum for the young one and the winning lottery. I said, mister, I wish you all the luck. You can retire that old truck if you got the winning three. Everyone knows my name, they can read it on my sleeve. You got the winning odds at the cornerstone. Mr. Jim said I like those gas prices low, so I can take my wife to Lowe's and buy a brand new seat. I said, Jim, well, I don't handle that, but if you like, you can buy my band CD. Everyone knows my name, they can read it on my sleeve. Watching the night turn today, we got USA Today. Come around to say hey at the cornerstone. Hey, thank you. My last one here. This is a newer one here. You know, sometimes it's hard making art, and sometimes it's very easy making art. So this is kind of a song about that, and it's a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's a song of encouragement for my friends that try and do it. It's called "Play Your Own Damn Songs." Singing on a cruise liner or a happy hour again, shoved off in a corner, playing for drinks and tips. Do us all a favor, don't ask for wagon wheel, 'cause I think it's time they play their own damn song. Only one Bobby Dylan. There's only one Godfather soul. There's only one man in black. We all drink from the punch bowl. Do us all a favor, take a chance on the voice inside, 'cause I think it's time you played your own damn song. Sing one about a heartache, sing one about a train, sing one about the book of love you read and gave away, sing one about those stubborn things someone called impossible dreams, 'cause I think it's time you played your own damn song. Cutting your teeth on the circuit, you ain't fooling anyone. There's an artist in there somewhere that's waiting to be born. You don't have to cut your ear off, you don't have to smoke 1,000 cigarettes, but I think it's time you played your own damn song. Sing what
David Garza. Very nice job today, David. I love the performance. And of course, I love that song, Corner Store. You can play that anytime you want. I mean, you can come back on the show, jump into other people's episodes, and play that 3-4 times, whatever. It's all good. I love Corner Store. Anyway, I want to give a little shout out for this week's excitement. We're going to have a big show. I'm playing at the Washington Street Festival, the old Washington Street Festival, up in Muncie, Indiana, my hometown. So come on up there and watch the show. Hang out. You'll love the festival. It's fantastic. Lots of music, lots of artwork, and just a fantastic, fun time on a weekend up in Muncie, Indiana. Also, on next week's show, if you stop in, you'll get to have our little visit with Catherine Nagy, and you'll get to hear all of her great tunes that she pulls out, and she has a phenomenal voice. So I highly recommend you show up next week and every week right here on Moonshine and Music. Moonshine and Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. All rights reserved, copyright 2018. Our producer for today's show was Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double was Brent Smith. Thank you for joining us, and join us here next Sunday for Moonshine and Music.